It's vegan recipes with Pat and Emily.
Hi, thanks for joining us today. We are gonna make some cilantro ginger tofu. We are starting out with some extra firm tofu. We already have the oven preheating to 450. If you're not familiar with opening a package of tofu, I like to stab one little corner to let the liquid start to come out. And then if you put another hole in the top corner, it will let the air in, so you can get that all out of there. Yeah, there's still more in there. Yeah, there we go. If you shift the tofu to the other side of the packet, then you usually don't cut it up while you're opening the package also. Then I like to press the plastic down on it and squeeze a little bit of that liquid off. Have a silicone mat here. Our oven is preheated now. And I am just going to cube this up. Just want to separate them a little bit. I'm going to cut the rest of it up just like this, pop it in the oven, and then we will come back and mix up our sauce to go on it. The tofu is in the oven baking. We're going to leave that in there for 20 minutes. While it's in there, we're going to mix up our sauce. In that, we are going to have ginger, cilantro, sesame seeds, garlic, lime juice, sesame oil, salt, a little bit of vegetable bouillon, and some water. I always like to use fresh cilantro for this recipe. I actually probably only make this when I have cilantro growing in my garden. So we are just going to put all of this in here except for the cilantro, the tofu, and the sesame seeds. And we're going to whisk it together. And make sure we get that bouillon all mixed in there. Still got a piece of bouillon in there, I see. Set that aside. I like to make sure I get almost all of the stems out of the cilantro for this. I've picked the leaves just off of the stems here. And then I'm just going to show you how I like to cut it up. You just take like that part and then get rid of that stem. I just kind of roll it into a pile. I slice it. And I'll gather it back up and slice it again. Looks good. Then we'll just mix this all together and we are just going to wait for our tofu to cook up. The tofu is ready. I pulled it out of the oven. I just wanted to give you guys a little tip. If you pull this out of the oven right away and you try to pull these little tofu squares off, they're gonna like stick on here real bad for some reason. But if you let this sit for a little bit like I have, you can pretty much just like dump them in here. It's got one little guy stuck on there. Stir this all together. Now this is a dish that I like to eat hot and cold. Sometimes if it's really hot outside, I would prefer to refrigerate it and let it chill before I eat it. So, however you guys want to do that. I have some steamed broccoli here to serve it with. Sometimes I do this with some rice. A little bit of lemon here. My broccoli. With like a beautiful plate ready to serve. has a very light spring flavor to it. I love it with the fresh cilantro. I hope you guys will like it too. Thanks, come again. Keep watching for the outtakes. Press the plaque. While it's in there, we're gonna mix up cilantro, or our